Alrighty there, it seems we are live. Good evening, everybody. Jeez, like, it's the beginning of the year. You've still got another 11 months. You better start being a little more enthusiastic. Otherwise, you're going to burn out. Good evening, everyone. That's better. Good evening to everyone on the live stream. Welcome to DuePoint. So my name is Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending about 35 minutes with you. So it's a fairly quick presentation. We're going to get down to business. This is a business proposition after all. Please reserve your questions until after the presentation. And I assume you'll be going back and speaking to the people that invited you here this evening, or you're sitting with watching the live stream. All right, so let's begin. As you can see, we're a division of a company called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. Constantia is a registered insurance company in South Africa. We've been around for a very long time, so it's a company you may not have heard of because we've operated very much under the radar. We don't typically deal with consumers, but for the first time through this division that we launched 3 years ago, DuePoint, are we now speaking directly to consumers. So just a little bit of a backstory as to why DuePoint is in existence. Perhaps it'll give you a little bit of information as to what motivates us as a business and how you come into it. So there's three factors that came together, one of them being economic and risk factors. So that's from our point of view as well as your point of view. So you probably here this evening because you want to make more money, right? So that's a down straight necessity, fairly clean cut. And that's mostly to avoid a lot of risk factors that we face with regards to traditional employment. So if you look at the economy at the moment, I don't have to spell out all the risks that is posed typically to people running businesses as well as employees in South Africa. So the second factor is social entrepreneurship. This is something that we wanted to desperately achieve through this division. And what does that mean? That means we want to have social impact. You'll speak to a lot of businesses. They have what they call these CSI programs, and that's not a new thing, but we wanted to create true social impact in this business. And you will be able to decide for yourself whether we've been able to achieve that and whether you have hope for us achieving that, because that's where the collaboration comes into it. We have designed this business to allow members of the public to get involved, and what actually happens is that you actually get to earn a royalty out of our business. So that'll become a lot more apparent as we go through the presentation. And then for ourselves, an economic reason for why we started DuePoint was to change our distribution model. So in all the businesses that we've ran in the past, the founders of the business have been involved in many financial institutions in the last 50 years or so. And we've always adopted typically traditional channels of distribution. Those are typical channels of marketing and advertising, and they are becoming less effective with time. And so what we've done through DuePoint is we've changed that channel of distribution into one of word of mouth or referral marketing, which is a lot more effective. And you will know that because you will trust somebody who tells you about something more than you will trust someone on television or the radio purporting to market a product or a service, right? And so these three factors came together, and as I said, DuePoint was born 3 years ago. So almost to the date. We're having our birthday next week, or this weekend. So we are 3 years old. To get straight into what this business is about, so we have something called the DuePoint System that you get to engage in. Your role in this business, the proposition that we make, is that you help us build a channel of distribution in this business. And you will benefit a lot out of this. How do you build a channel of distribution? I'll show you a little more closely what one of those look like. But building a channel of distribution is simply you going out and telling people about DuePoint. In other words, helping us build DuePoint's brand in South Africa. As a business, we will market and sell products to the people that you connect us to, the same way you've been connected to this business, right? And if you're successful in building a channel of distribution, there are a host of benefits that await you in the DuePoint system. Now, as I said, this is a business proposition. I assume you've looked at many other business propositions over the years. Perhaps this is your first business proposition that you've come to look at or address. As we go through the list of benefits, you can use this as an analysis of comparative, kind of like a SWOT analysis when you go look at other businesses. And I promise you, I think DuePoint will come out on top every single time if you compare us to any other business opportunity. So the number one benefit is that you get to create additional income. This is obvious, right? But the nature of the income is very important. This is where you need discernment, because what our business is all about, when I speak about the social impact, the social entrepreneurship aspect of our business, we want to empower people to free themselves of a lot of the financial constraint that they find themselves in our economy. And one of the ways we do that is by creating recurring income. Fortunately, this is a benefit that is inherent to insurance companies, not to all businesses, and most certainly not as employees. As employees, what we are constrained to is earning through our time. You have to work for a month to earn your salary, right? Now, this comes with a host of problems, because what happens if you don't go to work next month? For whatever reason, maybe you fall ill. Let's say you fall ill and you find out that you have to be in hospital, or you're going to be bedridden for longer than a week, 2 weeks. How much leave do you get from work? When's your boss going to say, okay, you just stay at home as long as you want, we'll keep paying your salary, right? What happens when you fall foul of the economy and the boss uses the R word? There are two R words the bosses like to use: retrenchment and retirement, right? How many people get retrenched? How many people can't find jobs? And then when you get into your 60s, you are going to get retired, typically, right? So my wife works for the biggest private employer in the country, and she's head of labor litigation for this company. So I know all about retrenchment processes and retirement processes and golden handshakes and all of that. And in this economy, people will fall prey to a lot of that. As a salary earner, your income ends when those events happen, right? But if you are part of a business that pays out recurring income, almost a royalty of the business that you help build, that doesn't end. We've got wealth engineers that can build their businesses for 2-3 years here, and if they stay at home for 3 months in a row and don't do any business, we still pay them. Because we pay people for the asset that they help us build. We don't pay you for your activity here at DuePoint. Right? You're going to see it's going to tie up with another benefit shortly. Power duplication. This is just your opportunity to go out and build a team around you to effectively build a channel of distribution faster and therefore bigger. Right? And that in turn results in a greater recurring income every single month. Our business is flexi-time. The technology that we've adopted here at DuePoint allows you to build your channel of distribution from your mobile phone. So there's an app on your smartphone that pretty much runs the business for you. Right? And that means that you're not constrained by geography or time when you want to build this business. You can literally spend 5 minutes working on your business. You could be in the bathroom and you could be building your business. Right? We had a lovely testimony from a gentleman who had some form of illness that couldn't afford him to drive around, and so he was homebound constantly, but he still built his business from home and he created a recurring income for himself. So that's the technology aspect. There's no startup capital in our business. We've designed DuePoint to have a very low barrier to entry, so very low risk. When we decided that we wanted to create a business that has social impact, we could never propose a business opportunity to people with the return of people thinking, oh, now I'm worried about what I lose if I get involved in this business. Right? We want people to freely try this business. Right? Even if you're skeptical, you have the freedom to try it because there's very little risk involved. There's almost no downside in trying to start a DuePoint channel with us. At the same time, there's no qualifications or experience requirements. We're trying to make this business as accessible as possible to the larger population. You get to build an asset. Now, this ties in with recurring income, right? Because we spend 45 years chasing activity-based income as employees. In the old days, that was fine. There was very little risk attached to employment. Today, that's completely changed, right? And so I'm hoping people will stop sacrificing their 40 hours a week, every single week, for 45 years, chasing activity-based income that is so laden with risk. Start spending some time developing an asset that you have ownership over, because an asset doesn't stop paying you when you are retrenched, when you retire, when you fall ill. What happens to assets when you die? They don't disappear either, right? They become part of your estate, and you get to actually pass wealth onto your children or your beneficiaries, your spouse, whoever, right? And that's the power of building an asset. Spend some time focused on building an asset. It might require sacrifice, but I hope that if you see the value of it, you'll be happy to sacrifice time. There's no selling involved in our business, so this is a wonderful thing. We've actually removed that requirement from our wealth engineers. So the people involved in our business are called wealth engineers. There is no requirement to do any selling. Actually, we forbid you from selling because you're not licensed to sell from a financial regulatory perspective, right? That's a good thing. Who wants to go sell investment and insurance products to their friends on the weekend, Right? No one. There's usually one person. I like selling. It's only 1 in 100, typically. Right? So there's no selling requirement. The nature of our products are financial in nature, and that means that we don't have stock and distribution issues. Typically, everything operates in the cloud here at DuePoint. Like I said, everything runs off your mobile phone. It happens automatically. Technology takes care of the entire back office. You never have to worry about any of those aspects. You're not going to go home with any products to fit in your boot this evening. Right? And so we make the products as convenient as possible. But your success is still very much predicated on your ability to build what we call a channel of distribution. So this is how it begins. You become a wealth engineer and a product owner here at DuePoint, and now you're tasked with going out and connecting other people, like I said. Right? In this example, you've connected 5 people. The first 5 people, we call this your first point. And those first 5 people are hopefully going to go out and do the same thing as you, because they've become wealth engineers and product owners for the same reason that you have. They also want to build assets. They also want recurring income. They also want to change their personal finance situation, right? And this is where the power of duplication happens, because when those 5 people go out and connect other people, your channel starts to grow. And after a certain amount of time, your channel can look like this, and you are being paid for every single product that you see on the screen. You're getting almost a royalty fee out of every single product every single month going forward, right? And that's what we call the return that we pay our wealth engineers every single month. So this is what you're going to be doing, building a channel of distribution purely by going out and connecting people to this presentation. Then we take over. We do the presentation, we do the sign-up, we do the marketing, the advertising, everything to the people, right? You just have to connect individuals to DuePoint. How does the return or the mechanics of the return actually work? How much are you going to be earning for every person that gets connected into your channel of distribution? It begins with a R27.50 base fee that we pay for every product in your qualified channel, right? So remember the first 5 people that you connected to DuePoint. We call that your first point. You will always only connect people to your first point. And on your first point, you actually earn double the R27.50. So if you connected 10 people this month, by the end of this month, you'd be earning R550 every single month. Right? That's an extra 6,000 Rand you've just created for yourself annually. When those people go out and connect other people, we call that your second point. And on your second point, again, you earn 55 Rand for every single product every single month. So if you had 100 people on your first and second point, that's 5,500 Rand that you're earning every single month. That's 60,000 Rand extra annually. Who would like 60,000 Rand this month? Because everyone's suffering. Actually, you've got your paychecks, right? Everyone get paid last month. Unless you work for SABC, maybe you were late. Maybe you had a little bit of a panic that day. You thought, I'm not getting paid this month. They're going down. And then they said, don't worry, we're just paying you a little bit late. And they blame the bank. Right? And then as your channel starts to grow, you see the multiplier drop steadily as the product gets further and further away from you. So this is just the mechanics of how we calculate, how we pay people this return at the end of every single month. You'll see we pay all the way to 0.8, right? So that multipliers drop to 4%, but we don't stop at 0.8. So we've got wealth engineers that have channels well into 0.30. You can earn as far beyond 0.8 as you want. We don't limit the size of people's channels. We don't limit how much money you can earn at DuePoint. This business is all about time and numbers. Unfortunately, a lot of people get impatient and they give up. That's the only way that I can guarantee that your return will disappear, right? Is if you just stop doing business altogether. But if you keep going just a little bit every single month, you have the power to grow your channel a little bit every single month, and your recurring income can go up every single month. I know this is hard to believe because we get happy when we get 3% raise every single year. If you're lucky, right? That's the average. Some of us get a little bit more, some of us get a little bit less. That's the unfortunate circumstance of being dependent on the economy, your jobs, the industry, the company you work for. We have to start doing this for ourselves. So that's the mechanics. People still want to understand, though, how much effort is required to do this business, how much time does DuePoint expect me to sacrifice to build a channel of distribution? So I hope this gives you a fair idea. We've chosen a fairly moderate growth in this 5-year projection. So this 5-year projection will get you to about 85,000 Rand a month after 60 months. Quick calculation, that's about R1 million extra a year. Now I imagine everyone would love R1 million extra every single year, right? But it starts at 0. It starts at 0. The growth requirement is that in your first month you connect 3 people onto your first point, and then every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to connect 2 people. So it's very moderate, right? So 2 people every single month going forward for the next 60 months. And if you can do that, we start out slowly. After 6 months, you'll be up at about 2,500 Rand a month, right? We usually use this point as a point for illustrative purposes, because when we speak about social impact, we've always spoken about not just giving people money, right? We want people to start thinking differently about money, because our business is actually about wealth creation. When we talk about social impact, we're actually talking about creating wealthy individuals in our organization. That's the impact that we want to achieve. And we can't do that just by creating additional returns that people earn at the end of every single month, because what we want to do is we want to, at the same time, change people's behavior around what wealth creation is all about. We mostly, all of us, I'm not going to assume everybody, but I speak for myself because I went through this lesson, I'm still going through the lesson daily, is that I think like a consumer constantly. Constantly, it's hard not to. Right? I heard somewhere we get exposed like 6,000-7,000 adverts a day. How do you not fall foul of thinking like a consumer if you're having that many adverts shoved in your face every single day? Right? So the example is 2,500 Rand. Well, a lot of people might look at that and go, well, that's not a lot of money. Right? Maybe that's 2 tanks of petrol. Maybe it's 1 grocery shop. We automatically look at the value of money and give it spending value. Right? Don't we? If I gave everyone 2,500 Rand here and you put it into your wallet nicely or into your handbag, how long would that money last? Think about it. I always look and go, I'm sure I got 2,500 Rand this week. Where's it gone? Right? It disappears. If we want to start creating wealth, one of the first things that you can do is start paying your debt off. I know that 99% of the population is indebted. Right? And so if you start paying your debt off, it actually has the same consequence as investing. It usually has better consequence than investing, because the interest rate you're paying on debt is way higher than what your investment is returning. Right? And here's an example of someone with a R1 million bond. So property is the hot topic. In South Africa, everyone wants land. I'm sure everyone would like to own land, right? You don't want to bond it, you want to own it. In this example, we can pay a R1 million house off in nearly half the time with 2,500 Rand. We can turn the 2,500 Rand into nearly 900,000 Rand in savings. So you're going to be paying on a R1 million bond about 11,500 Rand over the next 20 years at prime plus 2. But if you put a little 2,500 Rand into that bond every single month, you'll pay it off in 11.5 years and save yourself nearly 900,000 Rand in interest that you would have paid to the bank. At month 12, you'll be earning nearly 9,000 Rand a month. That's in excess of 100,000 Rand annually. Remember, you're connecting 2 people every single month. After 24 months, you'll be close to about 27,000, 28,000 Rand. After 36 months, 3 years, nearly 50,000 Rand. After 48 months of doing 2 people on your first point every single month, you'll be close to about 70,000 Rand. And then 5 years from today, 60 months' time, you'll be close to 85,000 Rand a month. Now, who doesn't believe me? No. We take into consideration people that don't stay, people that don't pay, people that don't build your channel. It's not a simple mathematical process that we've gone through. We had actuaries look at this to bring in very reliable data that paints a very accurate portrayal of what your channel would build like, right? We've got lots of wealth engineers doing it already. They show it. And we'll go through some. So you can say, well, this is an academic. It's theoretical. It is theoretical. And that's why it's important for us to have reviews. You know, when you go into Amazon, you're about to buy a product or take a lot, you click on reviews, right? And if they're negative, you know it's a rubbish product. If it's positive, you go, I can trust the reviews. So we have reviews. Yeah, we've got Paul. Paul's sitting on the 3rd row there. So we bring up wealth engineers every single month. We've got new wealth engineers. We've got old wealth engineers. The testimonies are all on YouTube. You're free to go watch them, right? And the video testimonies are people sharing their experience at DuePoint, good and bad. We want them at the same time to prepare you for what business is like, not just say, oh, it's wonderful, you just start and you're going to be making lots of money. I like them to portray the work that has gone into building their channel. So yes, Paul, he joined 7 months ago. His value of his channel sitting at 2,500 Rand. He's personally brought in 41 people. His channel's 5 points big. Those 41 people have translated into 83 people because of the power of duplication. Right? Then we've got Norma. Norma's been in the business for twice as long, 15 months. And the value of her channel sitting at 3,500 Rand. She also brought in 41 people. She's also got a channel that's 5 points in size, but she's got 162 people, right? Her channels had 16 months to grow. Paul's channels had half the time to grow. But we say to Paul, you need to get your people duplicating more, so he's going to focus there more, right? You want to leverage the duplication as much as possible in this business. Now, we've got thousands of people that join this business every single month, and everybody is different. The system is identical for every single person that becomes a wealth engineer. And so you're at liberty to decide what you want out of this business. It's not like at work where you start putting an hour of extra time in every day. Is your boss at the end of the month going, wow, you worked extra hard, I'm going to give you a raise? No chance, right? But in this business, the return that you get is directly correlated to the activity that you put into the business. If you want extra money at the end of the month, put in more work. But the beauty with building an asset is with time. So 3 to 5 years where you've put in time in this business, you are then afforded the luxury of going, I've got a channel that is now running on its own. Who would like to take a 3-month holiday? I used to dream about that. You read these books about New York agencies, all these fancy companies, they're giving their execs 6 months off and 3 months off. Always dreamed about that. 3 months holiday, imagine. Right? Owning an asset gets you to that position after time. You earn that for yourself. Right? So go onto our YouTube channel, go you look at all the testimonies. On top of the return that we pay our wealth engineers every single month, we also have a rewards program. So the rewards program is built of all these milestones. We call them ranks, right? And at each of these ranks, there are a whole plethora of different rewards that we give our wealth engineers for the size of their channel and the activity that they put into this business. So at rank 5, as an example, we give out a fancy little USB stick. It's got all our video collateral on there, and it just makes it a lot easier to connect people because that little USB stick plugs into any device that you might have on you. At rank 7, we understand the power of first impressions. I come from a background of advertising and branding. If you're going to start your own business, know that first impressions count for a lot. Know it, right? People want to deal with people that are professional. Professional means that the business you're a proponent of, you take seriously and that you have belief in. When you have a 17,000 Rand business card, I promise you, people will look at you and go, this guy takes his business seriously, right? And they give you more time and consideration. At rank 9, rank 9's one of the ranks a lot of the wealth engineers aspire to, because at rank 9, we take you and your family to our rank 9 international conference every single year for the rest of your life. So it's you and your family, business class flights there and back. It's a 5-star luxury resort. It's 7 days, and it's an all expenses paid trip. When I say all expenses, you can eat and complete and finish that mini bar every single night, and they will restock it in the morning. I know, because when we go out, when us normal people go to a hotel, we put the red tape on the mini bar, and you tell the kids, you go near the mini bar, I'm going to kill you. Right? Because the Snickers is about 400 Rand for one chocolate in the mini bar. You will forget your credit card when you come on our rank 9 trip, and you won't have realized it, because we pay for absolutely everything and we keep you entertained, and you actually get to experience what it's like to spend 7 days living like a millionaire, because it's literally like that, right? And if you don't believe me, you're welcome to go look at our trips that we've taken in the past, and then go to the hotels and go check what they cost to go to in December. So this is our last documented trip. This was Little Fair in Mauritius, one of the heritage resorts, and it's available for every single person. Everyone. So that's available for every single person in this room. You can take 5 months. My Mandla took 5 months to go from 0 to 1,000 paying products in his channel. From opening his laptop from the first day ever and looking at this thing called DuePoint. 5 months later, he was ranked 9, earning 20,000 Rand a month and going to a ranked 9 trip every single year. Right? You dictate how long you want to take to get to rank 9. It is up to you. No one tells you how long it's going to take you. Right? You can take 5 years, you can take 10 years, you can take 5 months. We don't reset you along the way. If you keep building, even if you're building slowly, you'll get there sooner or later. At rank 11, we spend R250,000 Rand buying you a brand new car. No DuePoint stickers, but more importantly, no debit order at the end of the month, because we pay for that car cash and we give it to you with a little bit of fanfare. Right? Wealth engineers have done this in less than 2 years. We're only at rank 11. Our rewards program goes up to rank 28. This is still early days for people in this business. We'll see what 28 is entailing, right? So this is what our rewards program looks like. So this is the rewards program over and above the monthly returns, but our business is not built on just giving out. Our business is built on the necessity of products that we actually have. So our products, again, are designed with those 3 pillars that I spoke about in the beginning of the presentation. Economic necessity and social impact. A lot of people might look at insurance products and think, oh, insurance products, what a pain, right? But if you look at any developing economy and any strong economy, the backbone is always a strong insurance sector. Why? Because you want to protect the wealth and the asset that you've built. Always, right? And so I'm going to go through our 4 products. They are all financially based products. If you have any questions on them, you can welcome speak to me afterwards. But there's more information on our website. There are in-depth reviews on our YouTube channel. Our first product is an investment and an insurance product bundled together called Access Wealth. Access Wealth is going to cost you 324 Rand every single month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. You've got full access to that fund. You can draw that money out whenever you like. And on top of that, you get 120,000 Rands worth of personal accident death cover with this product. Right? So this has got an investment component to it. Then we've got WEALTHGUARD, which is strictly insurance. It's only 249 Rand every month. This time you get 1 million Rands worth of personal accident death cover. The beauty of our products and kind of that vision of having a business that is as accessible as possible. All our products are accessible to anyone over the ages of 18. We don't discriminate against age. We don't discriminate against your health status. You can be diabetic. You can be 65. You can still take out the product. The premium is the same for everybody. And you get the full amount of cover promised. So this is 1 million Rands worth of personal accident death cover. Then we've got a family product called Family Wealth. This is a funeral cover product. Starts at 299, gives you 20,000 Rands worth of funeral cover. Covers up to 5 family members. The principal members gets 10,000 Rands worth of debt protection. So upon death, if you owe anyone money, we'll cover up to 10,000 Rand. And then you can increase your cover to 30,000 Rand as well as up to 10 family members. So there's some flexibility built in this product. And again, the accessibility. You can get in over the age of 18. It's a whole of life product, so it doesn't cancel itself when you get to any age, but you have to get in on Family Wealth before the age of 70. But then it runs whole of life. And then lastly, we've got Wealth Points. Wealth Points aims to reduce your monthly expenses. So what we've done, for 299 Rand every month, you get to enjoy the services and discounts that we have negotiated with a list of partners, the list of businesses that you see there. We've recently just signed on Cell C, who are giving us between 10 and 20% off data and airtime. So that's a wonderful new partner. You can see the list of partners. We've got online retailers. ShopRite Check is a very popular one. Eagle Ford is an amazing one. If you're ever privileged enough to go buy a car, go to one of the dealerships that we partnered with. I bought a Ford recently. I got 100,000 Rand off. We had a wealth engineer go to Eagle Ford this week, and he couldn't believe that they were going to give him a 90,000 Rand discount off of his car. All right, so we'll see if he buys that or not. I'll put a photo up of him buying the car if he does go through with that. So that's a wonderful product. We're always adding new partners to this product whenever we can find them. Like I said, there's more information online if you need it, but the products are straightforward and the same for everybody. You don't have to worry about your premium being higher because you're old and a little bit sickly. Right? Well, that's what we've got to deal with. So if that wasn't enough, we've got added incentive this year. if you were thinking, well, geez, becoming a millionaire after 5 years is too long for me, we've got an incentive running this year called the 365 Challenge. If you can connect 365 people onto your first point in the next 365 days from when you become a wealth engineer, we will, on top of all the benefit that you would have received in building a channel, we will give you an extra 365,000 Rand. Right? If you do this incentive, you'll probably get to about rank 11, 12, 13, around there. You should be earning about 30 to 40,000 Rand every month. You'll have the car, you'll have the holiday. There are a number of checks along the way in the rewards program, and you'll get the added 365,000 Rand in cash to you in a year's time. I was waiting for everyone to run out and start connecting people. So that is the 365 Challenge. As I said, more details on the website there too. And then if that wasn't enough, we have added incentive for February. February's Wealth Quest is called the Triple Lightning Qualifier, where we challenge our wealth engineers and all wealth engineers to qualify 3 new wealth engineers on their first point in the month of February. So if you can get 3 people to connect to your first point, get them qualified, which means they've got to find 3 people each. And if you can do that in the month of February, there is an Apple iPhone or 5,000 Rand in cash plus the 3,000 XP available for those wealth engineers this month alone, on top of the returns that you would have earned for yourself. So that is February's Wealth Quest. So what is the decision? The decision for me is, can you fit DuePoint into your life? It's simple. This business requires time, and that's the sacrifice you have to make. Simple as that. It's not a complicated business. We've made it as simple as possible to work. You need your smartphone. You go out, you start speaking to people. Connect 3 people, you'll start earning immediately. You want to start making profit over and above the cost of the product? Connect 5 people. That's how quickly you can start turning profit in this business. You can do it in a day, right? So the decision for me is very straightforward. A little bit of background on our business. So you might have thinking, well, I've never heard of DuePoint or Constantia. I touched on Constantia a little bit at the beginning of the presentation. We're a 70-year-old registered insurance company. We're not an insurance company like what you think an insurance company is. There's only a handful of registered insurance companies in the country. Constantia is one of them. They underwrite often a lot of life insurance policies around the country, but there's way more information on their website, on our website. We've got a host of financial licenses, so know that we are a regulated business. Right? We only speak about this stuff so that you know the business you're partnering with is a business you can be proud of to represent. We are a credible business. We are audited, we're regulated, we're listed on the Joburg Stock Exchange under a group called Conduit Capital, so you can go find all of that information on our website. That's the FSP number, our Financial Services Provider License number. We've got all our licenses on the wall outside, above the water cooler there. They're on our website. So know that you're dealing with a very credible business. And that's it, folks. I hope, how long is that taking us? 36 minutes. There you go. If you have any questions, go speak to the person that invited you or brought you along this evening. If you don't like their answers, come speak to me. I'll most likely give the same answer, but I really wish that everyone has a prosperous 2019. I hope no one falls foul of 2019's economy, of the macro factors out there. We have to do something differently. That's my point. If you think you're just going to do the same thing that you did last year, you're not going to have any different result. So good luck. Thank you.